Hi guys, my name is Matt Ganzak and I built a true Jarvis dashboard that I call Focus Pilot. And what I want to talk to you about is what I built here, how I got to this point, and where we're currently at in our development, and what the next steps are in what it is that we're doing. But the first thing I want to do is I want to take a step back just to say this was a really complex build. And this has been going on, the genesis of this, for 6 months. And it started, the initial build of this platform was OpenClaw as an orchestrator, Claude Code as the one that actually did the coding and did the design and did all the work output, and Obsidian holding that second brain. So when I initially built that platform back in March, and I showed my community, I have a community, the Sprint community, 468 members in here. When I showed them that and showed them exactly what I built and walked them through with all the documentation on how to build it themselves, some people built it, but the frustrating thing was a majority of the non-technical people had a really big challenge because I was going in and rewiring config files and getting OpenClaw to talk to Claude Code headless, and then having the transparency of what they were working on and so forth. And in my engine that I built that was difficult to replicate and really not a production ready type product, it was really complex and so forth. So I built that and I said, all right, I need to make this easier. So I built a prototype of Focus Pilot and what I was doing on my local machine. And I built it not as multi-tenant, just as a single venture that I could operate that venture and then have multiple ventures be able to sign up through my website, which is scaleupmedia.com. And then it would onboard them and then it would start building that venture for them autonomously. And it was great. I showed the people in the community what we built. That was April, May. And they said, we need this. We need this platform. So I know what you're thinking when you're here. You're saying like, you're at users.mat.download.brainventure.html. That's what I wanted to call out is this is a mock-up. When you see those Jarvis dashboards, it's just pretty. And, maybe they can click through and you can kind of see what's going on and you can click through the different things and click through this. This took me 1 hour to build this. This took me literally 1 hour last night. And the genesis of creating Focus Pilot started in the beginning with, I need a multi-tenant local app that everyone in my community can use. And I'm going to provide access to everyone in our community to this platform because I need it to be stupid simple, point and click. You're not having to rewire config files or do anything like that. So when I built the platform, it was ugly. And I started and I built it in public a month ago. It took 13 days. So I recorded every single day for 13 days as I was building it. And I'll show you. It was completely ugly. I'll probably go to this one and scroll through the video real quick. It was ugly. I had console, brain, agents, activity, project settings, etc. And it was ugly. And I explained to people why I'm building this ugly, because I don't care about UI. UI is the least important thing in a platform that you're building like this. I spent more time in sandboxing and more time in security and more time in, creating the config and creating all of the dependencies between the different agents that are working and making sure the agents can work together. I spent more time on each one of those. Each one of these days, I was building different integrations. So you see there's no pipeline here. I'll show you what the UI looks like now. So we have pipelines. So you're able to have pipelines run for your daily. Again, same thing. This is all UI local. This took me an hour to make this. And when you guys see those Jarvis dashboards, it's all just aesthetic and so forth. So let me show you the real Focus Pilot. So this is the app. It's an Electron app that I built. And I wired all of the pretty designs that I had, taking it from this old ugly design that I had, just a month ago. And it was functional. But the core thing is Focus Pilot has been running my content, my development, my landing pages. It has been building all of my business over the last couple of months as I've been testing in alpha. And I don't care what something looks like because this thing took 1 hour. This was 3 prompts in order to create this. That's not a real platform. So everything that you're seeing now, maybe I won't say every single app that you're seeing, but I would say a majority of the apps that you're seeing in your feed are all just this. And they take something like this and they package it up into something where it's not, an HTML file. And they're like, wow, look at this cool, amazing thing and whatnot. But they're leading you astray in the agent actually doing work and having quality output. So for example, built my landing page, runs my blog for me, like built all of my engines and all of my machine, not putting out what looks like AI slop. It's actually building real engines and managing it and giving me the business intelligence. Like from my site, you come in and, I didn't type, I just click one of the short keys and it grabs information from my Go High level. It knows the 380 conversations that have been had in my Go High level through my Instagram DM service that I have. And it knows everything about my customers. It knows everything about my business. And it's all in a central brain that lives locally on my machine. So it told me, what my headline should be. It told me exactly what these buttons should be. It told me exactly what people needed to hear in order to take an action with me or take a next step. It writes my entire blog for me. So this is my blog. It wired in all the resources and everything that we're blogging about and so forth. It manages creating my content. It searches SEMrush for specific keywords that have content gaps. It understands that, ingests it, and then starts and writes the blog, and then creates these images, creates all the different prompts and everything based upon exactly what my business does, and built this entire machine, manages the machine, and then, builds all of my marketing materials and everything for me. I didn't care about the pretty design. I literally built this last night in 1 hour. And I built this the next hour. And now I am skinning it this morning. I started skinning it to the real Focus Pilot. So inside of here, we are working on the CRM connections, the ad connections, and all these different things. And those things are what's firing in between. So you'll be able to click out and see exactly what those learnings are and so forth. So the entire engine is built on 4 brains. So there are 4 levels of the brain. So level number 1 of the brain is your venture level. So this is my venture. So this is my voice and tone, my positioning, and my standards. All this is ingested when you create a new project. And like these are, projects I've been testing. Again, I spent so much time just in sandboxing to make sure that there was no leakage between brains. Leakage between work streams, which are tasks, leakage between anything. It can't do anything that you wouldn't want it to do on your machine. And I would validate, make sure it would go in. I wouldn't just listen to Claude Code. I would actually go in and read myself and make sure that there were no vulnerabilities. I spent more time on that than I did on the UI. So when you see the people creating these pretty designs, every time you see it, understand that's 1 hour of work or 2 hours of work in order to facilitate creating something like that. So that's not important to me. What's important to me is the quality work output and me being able to have my agents do work for me autonomously on a planned service that we put together. So Venture Brain is number 1. And the next one is the work stream. So every single work stream is inside of here, and they're all separated into code and content, my emails, my Instagram carousels. So if you've ever looked at my Instagram account, every single Instagram carousel was created by Focus Pilot, not by me. And my landing pages, and that's coding, planning my daily content, planning my blog content, posting the blog content, creating all the different content strategies. So I have autopsy, doctrine, unfiltered, objections. It wrote my entire project plan. It wrote all of my marketing plan. It wrote everything because it knows exactly what's going on. So when you set up a project, you give it your URL, it will read that entire business. It will ask for some additional information, and it automatically builds out. And this is basically like Obsidian, it builds out the entire brain. Venture level is top one. So I'll go into the brain. So venture is top one. It's the highest level of the brain. That top level cannot be superseded by anything. There's legal and compliance. So it's not going to supersede legal and compliance and so forth. And then you have each one of your tasks that go in here. And then I clicked on video ads copy, but I can click into Instagram carousels. And here's all the carousels that it created and so forth. So why it's not firing like that and why, the different learnings are not firing, that's, learning 3 is it learns from me. So inside of console, if I jump over to the app again, inside of console, when I'm talking to it and working on a conversation, so here's all my email campaigns, here are all my Instagram carousels and so forth. So when I'm working with it and it's like building and learning and doing whatever it is that we're doing, if I message back to it and say, hey, don't do that again, or hey, save that in the brain, that's level 3 of learning. So as I was showing you down here, these are things that it learned from me. So that was another problem that I had with AI, is that if I told it something, I don't want to ever tell you again. Because if you hire an employee and you're constantly having to correct them, you're going to end up firing them at some point because they're not learning from what it is you're teaching them. So level 3 is that of the brain. And then level 4, which is what makes all these things fire, is the last thing that I'm programming right now, which is the interconnectivity to my CRM, which is Go High Level, where it has the business intelligence plugin that I created, and then ROAS, and it's going to connect to my social media and all of that. So we're plugging all those in now, and I'm being completely transparent with you. It's not done yet, but I have a vision of what it's going to look like and things as they're connecting and as it's learning. We're going to have the business intelligent agent, do the firing of the learnings. It's going to interconnect those firings back to attributing the success of that project or of that task back to the agent of which did that. And then we have the, let me take you into the agent's level. There's a health score on the performance score to where the agent knows exactly what it was that was going on. So when it's all said and done, it's going to end up looking like this. Again, this is a platform that this is just a HTML mockup that I did that took me 1 hour to build. And what I want to do is keep you guys updated as we're finishing this. I've been doing this in the community. So I did the initial ugly build first, really focusing in on security, really focusing in on quality work output. I did all of that first, and then I stopped like 3 weeks ago, and I've only been alpha testing using this in my venture to make sure that the quality work output was there. And I focused on that. 3 days ago, I started the launch. So launch 1 was 3 days ago, and then I did launch 2 and did a walkthrough of that. Launch 3 was yesterday. I'm going to do launch 4 today, which is the UI build. I have a few more things that I'm working on. So here's my checklist of everything that I need to complete and everything I've already completed as part of the launch. So I'm going through and checking off each one of these boxes to make sure each one of these boxes are completed. I basically already have that visual of the hive mind, so I can check that off. But I'm going through this list and finalizing every single piece on this list. And when it's done, it goes live. And it's only going live to our community. And the benefit now is the community is $1 to get started at mattganzak.com. When this goes live, the community cost is going up to $9.97. And that's not $9.97, it's $997. Because our vision of this is we want to provide our software products to our community. Because if I'm continuing to fight with platforms like OpenClaw, Hermes Agent, Claude Code's great, but again, you need to have the direction and have the brain that Claude Code can work off of. And it's too difficult to wire Claude Code into a second brain, which is why I created Focus Pilot to be able to, Focus Pilot is basically the brain and the management of the brain with your mission control center, with having all the activity of everything that's going on in your work streams. Work streams are tasks. And it's running and doing everything it needs. And then it has your business intelligence layer. It connects in, it tells you what to do. It tells you what tasks that you have. See, I have 21 pending tasks that I need to pay attention to. And you're able to toggle between your different ventures, and you're able to work on your systems inside of Focus Pilot. So again, if I go back and show you just yesterday alone, I think yesterday it was still pretty ugly. So yesterday it was still ugly. And this was 14 hours ago, and I've already skinned the front end of it. So what I'm telling you guys, don't get distracted by shiny objects. Really focus on quality work output and making sure that you have a system that you're building that is, it's not breaking on you all the time. Or each time you push an update to OpenClaw or Hermes agent, is it breaking your entire workflow? So I wanted to build something that was tried and tested, because our community members, the 468 people in here, I don't want them to have to struggle with their software, because you shouldn't be fighting your software. You should be running your company. The agents should just work. You shouldn't have to continuously fight them. So we have this app, and then we already built an app called Sonar. So that's coming out. That is what transcribes all my videos. Again, same thing, been using it in my business. We have Beacon coming out. Beacon listens for hooks and listens for things in your industry on social media, and then alerts your Focus Pilot account what it should be doing. And we have Vision, because when I train my agents, I use video. So we have that coming out as well. And we also have our idea validator in here if you have a project that you want to work on. But we packaged all this up into a product suite, and we are providing that all to our community just for the cost of being in the community. So if you want to check out the community, go to mackanzak.com, read more about it. You can always talk to my agent and get any answers that you need. And if you're looking to build custom solutions and custom agentic software for your business, you can always go to scaleupmedia.com, and you can sign up here, get a project score, and it'll score your project. You sign an NDA first, and then you'll score your project, and we'll talk to you about your business, and we'll talk to you about what you need. If you don't want to sign up there, you can always just talk to it here. But again, same thing. Like, all of this is plugged into Focus Pilot, and it knows everything about what is going on, and it makes decisions about what is working inside of my business. And that's the power of agentic AI. And everything that I'm seeing online now is just pretty designs. And I'm telling you, don't get, looped into one of these pretty designs. The biggest focus is building a machine and agents that work together in order to put out a quality work output. So hopefully this was helpful for you walking through. Again, I'm 4 months into this build. So if you came here with the expectation of saying like, oh, he's just going to give me a single one-shot prompt and he's going to show me exactly how to build this thing. It's like 4 months into development and technically 6 months into product testing in order to get this to the point to have this machine working. So I have probably 3 days left on my checklist in order to fire through this. So I need to finish that up. I'm going to be doing that in the community. If you want to get that behind the scenes on exactly how I'm building it, come and join us. And if you just want to wait for Focus Pilot to go live, just subscribe and I'll definitely let you know when we're live. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you took some value out of this, and let me know if there is anything in the comments that you have questions about. More than happy to help. Guys, have a great day. See you on the next video.